Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within. Everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I'm Julietta, your co-host, also known as the Magical PT, and I am a physical therapist here in sunny South Florida. I'm a transplant from the Midwest. I'm a Wisconsinite, and we always laugh, no matter how long I live in Florida, it will never be home. Wisconsin is always home. So, but I'm a holistic physical therapist, way outside the box. I'm the one you go to when you've gone to everybody else and tried everything else and nothing's worked. Then come see me. We'll make magic happen. And I'm an artist, a jeweler, an author, a cat mom, I don't know, a lot of stuff, and looking at maybe taking a few of those things that no longer serve me off the plate, but that's a discussion for another time.
Like, wait, what? We're gonna have to have that discussion. What?
None of the things I talked about, the other stuff that I'm not talking about, that just needs to go away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I can think of a few. Okay. With ya.
Yes. All right. Who are you?
I am Allison Mancini, also co-host of this amazing podcast, Voices of the Goddess. I am a human resources and operations director at the Gold Digger Girl. I'm also a functional nutritionist. And the Gold Digger Girl is a company that helps women show up authentically on social media. We learn them all the good tricks and all that good stuff, algorithm hacks, and how to just, draw people to you. Attraction marketing, that's what we do. So, but the cool thing about my job is, aside from the fact that I get to work with all these amazing women and support them in my role of human resources, I'm also a nutritionist. So it's really my love language. I suffered myself because I ate like bleep, you know what I mean? And I changed all of that about 15 years ago and got into nutrition. And I'm a true believer and know deep down that it is very important that you're careful what you put into your body, because that's how we run, right? It's our fuel. And I'm also a mom to a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old, married to my husband for 28 years. Pretty soon I'll be saying 29, which is a little weird. 30 is going to be really weird. But I also live in South Florida, also originally from the Midwest, Michigan girl at heart. When people ask me where home is, it's always Michigan. So, yeah. And I'm not all the other stuff. I've just got those. I'm going to be an author, though. I am going to be an author. So we'll get that one going soon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. We have a sponsor.
We do.
Bowtie Kids, Courage and Confidence for kids with chronic pain. They are an impact-driven, for-purpose organization committed to enhancing the lives of youth suffering from chronic pain and their families. Its mission is to inspire courage and confidence in youth living with chronic pain and their families by transforming lives through personal development, community building, and gardening to build a sustainable quality of life. On March 26th, you can join them for their Courage and Confidence Awards, which celebrates and honors community leaders who have been courageous and confident in taking on their own lives to serve and support others. You can purchase tickets, bid on silent auction items, enter the raffle, or donate to support their work by visiting them at www.bowtiekids.org. And in addition to attending the event, which I'm super excited to do, I also have I believe it's a silent auction item is where they're using it, which is a really cool gift basket that I put together with all kinds of cool stuff in it. So including a session with me and some other stuff. Yes, there is a mala in there, and yeah, but the event, I've been to the Courage and Confidence Awards in the past, and I can tell you, not all fundraising events are fun, but the Courage and Confidence Awards are really a lot of fun. So I would love to see some of you there.
So you're saying the fun gets left out of fundraising?
A lot of times, yeah. I won't mention any of those boring events that I've been to. I just talk about it. Courage and Confidence is fun, so show up and have a good time with us. And speaking of that, because I definitely will be wearing makeup to that event, but between reading, in our book club, we're reading Untamed right now, and being here on, yes, this is a podcast, but we're also in video format on YouTube if you want to check us out there. Putting makeup on, I feel like it's a controversial thing for us women, because it is one of those things that women have become expected to do. It's kind of we should do that. And prior to the pandemic, I would put a little, I'm not a huge makeup person, but I would put a little bit of makeup on to go to work. But then we had to wear these masks all the time, and who's going to put on masks? Like, I've seen the mask when you take it off and it's all covered with makeup on the inside. It's just disgusting. And so I was like, oh, the pandemic is here. I don't have to wear makeup anymore. And, not typically wearing masks unless I'm flying or something anymore. So don't have that as a reason not to wear masks, but still
you
kind of
not to wear makeup.
Oh, not to wear makeup. Yes, thank you. But I don't know, like enjoying not having to do that thing in the morning. Right. But then our friend Graciela Valdez asked me to make a video for her. And given her industry, I thought I need to put on some makeup to make this video. I need to look pretty. But the day that I was going to do that, I also had my morning networking meeting. So I show up at this meeting with makeup on, which I have not worn makeup to this meeting in like 2 years. At least 50%, if not more, of the members, who are mostly men, said, "You look amazing today." No, not one of them said, "Oh, you wore makeup today." Not even the women didn't even say, "Oh, you wore makeup today." They were all like, "You look amazing today." And it kind of like triggered this thing in me. Like, well, I'd like that I look amazing, but I don't want to have to wear makeup to look amazing. And what do you do? And anyway, I just decided for myself, when I feel like wearing makeup, I'm going to wear makeup. And when I don't feel like it, I'm not going to wear makeup. And it kind of goes back to that. I know you didn't recall this, but Alicia Keys at one point in her professional career made the decision she wasn't going to wear makeup. And then someone caught her putting lipstick on, and they were like, "I thought you don't wear makeup anymore." And she goes, "I do whatever the fuck I want to do." So that's my stance right now with makeup. I might wear it and I might not, but I'm going to do whatever I want.
I have a love-hate relationship with makeup, because it's exactly what you just said. Like, if I wear makeup and do it my face, people are like, "Oh, you look so great." And I'm like, do I look that bad without makeup? Like, but my hate relationship with it is that, to me, it's just not enjoyable. It's friggin' pain in the ass. I'm so sorry, but it takes me 10 minutes of time I don't want to spend. So I have gotten my makeup routine very efficient. I do only the absolute necessity, which are my eyebrows, because they're almost completely gone. So I have to draw them in every day. And my eyelashes are kind of a sad factor as well, but we're working on that. And that's kind of really my main staple. Like, I can walk out the door as long as my eyebrows are done. Like, I feel confident, I feel good. But yeah, it's a weird place. Like, and then I have friends who absolutely love makeup. They love putting it on. They love how it makes it. I mean, and that's fabulous. You do you, girl. More power to you. It's just not my thing. Just not. And what's really funny is, you want to hear something really funny? In my 20s, I worked with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Go figure that out.
Wow.
You can tell I had no clue who I was. Because knowing me now at 51, that is not my thing.
I think the important thing out there, though, is that nobody should feel like they have to wear makeup. Nobody. It should just be you do what feels right for you.
Yeah, you do you, and people just don't worry about what they think.
Exactly.
All right. Are we ready to bring our
guest on?
Yeah, let's do it. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, ladies. I was just here like laughing, like, yes, no. And I'm like, wait, I'm backstage. So good. Oh, it's such a joy to be here. Thanks, ladies, for bringing me on.
Thank you for joining us. Take a couple minutes and introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Rachel Rose. As you can tell, I'm from the UK. I'm from London with this very strange accent that a lot of the world seems to like, but all of the Brits hate. We hate our accents, but there you go. So I am a feminine leadership coach. I'm also a Reiki master, and I'm a Shamanic Alchemist. And my mission in this life, as I believe in, we have lots of different lives, but in this particular incarnation, I'm here to transform women's lives so that they can really reconnect with their divine feminine power. Throughout the years that, well, I should say centuries that we've been alive as women, we've really struggled with that. So I'm really here to help women reconnect with something that we were all born with. And this is so that they can then step into being the leader in their lives, in any area of their life. And they can eventually break that glass ceiling and just step into that next level of success with ease. So the feminine way.
Beautiful. I love that.
And I love that you do the Reiki.
Oh, have you had it before?
Yeah, I actually first got introduced to Reiki when my daughter was like 3 or 4. She was, she had a lot of developmental delays and had a major OCD and sensory problems. And I actually worked with someone, they worked with her with Reiki, and it was really absolutely amazing to watch her. It would calm her down. And this was when she was, let's see, 4 maybe, like she was little.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty
cool. It's great when it works with kids because they're so responsive, right? They really are sponges, and they just take in that beautiful universal energy. Yeah. So, that's cool that you know it.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we will dive into our questions here. And the first one is, what is one book that you wish every goddess would read and why?
Oh, okay. Being a book junkie, let me think about this properly. And I know you guys are like, just pick the one. Okay, so I think one of the biggest ones, and probably actually the biggest one if I think about it, is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, the late Louise Hay. Love, you're both nodding. I'm sure you've read it then. Isn't it phenomenal? Like, I just love the concept of being able to just change your path, change your thoughts. And, you know, when I learned about that book, that was just monumental for me that, oh, wow. So regardless of the fact that, you know, I was raised by a single mom, regardless of the fact that I'm struggling with self-confidence as a child, regardless of all these different factors, I can just change my life just like that. So that was revolutionary for me. And I think it's really important for every woman to read that, you know, regardless of whatever stage you're at. You know, particularly society likes to say, oh, if you reach this particular age, that's it, you're stuck. And you can't change your mind, you know, you can't change your partner or your career or, you know, whatever you're passionate about. So I think every woman needs to read that. So that's then something that's imprinted into their minds. Like, actually, who cares? I can just change my mind. I don't owe anyone anything. I owe myself my own happiness, and whatever that looks like for me, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, Louise was such a leader in that industry, leading the way, and her starting her own publishing company to allow so many of the other books that are on, you know, our people's list. So many of them are published by Hay House, and they wouldn't be out there if it wasn't for this woman. So not only are her books amazing, but also just so much appreciation for her in bringing all these other books that we all love and appreciate out there to the world. So yes, much love to Louise Hay.
Yeah, it's a shame she's not still around, but yeah, she's just wonderful.
All right, our next question is, what is your top self-care practice and how does it support you?
Okay, I think so. I'll get to the actual physical practice, but here's the background. So I am a Virgo, my sun sign's in Virgo. So I'm super hypercritical of everything, but particularly myself. So I was like a first class ruminator, just going around, things in my mind thinking, oh, could I have done that better? Really simple stuff, like even stuff that's just based on a social interaction. Oh gosh, did I shake their hand right? Was my hand sweaty? Am I awkward? And something that really helped me was just remembering that we only have 24 hours in a day. So after 24 hours, we really do get to hit reset. But the physical practice I do is, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with crystals. So I use selenite a lot. I'm sure you're not in that. Listen, you're like, yeah.
Like, this one is like, yeah, she knows crystals, no doubt.
Oh, wow. So got my selenite one. I'm so
we'll talk after the show.
Oh yes.
Crystal conversation later.
I know anyone who's got crystals, it's never like, oh, I've got 3. It's like, I've got 100 or I've got 0. Like, that's the spectrum.
Yeah. I think you need to add an extra 0 to my collection, but that's okay.
Wow. So like, I'm sure you love selenite too, because like, first of all, you don't have to cleanse it. Great. Who doesn't mind not having to cleanse it? But I use it as like a brush. So I do dry brushing in Reiki, but for anyone who doesn't know what dry brushing is, you can literally get a wand and you just sweep off that energy for the whole day. And you can do that any time of day. You can keep it in your purse. You can even get like a tiny one and keep that like literally in, your money purse or your zipper. And you just keep doing that. And it just really helps cleanse you if you just envision this white light. But doing it daily helps you remember that once the day is done, no one cares anymore. It's over. It doesn't matter how awkward you thought you were. And just the fact that I think on top of that, no one ever cares as much as we think they care, right? No one cares that, our zipper was undone. That's happened to me 1,000 times. No one really cares. They've got bigger things to fry. So it's just really letting go of the day once it's done.
I love that. And we'll definitely have a little conversation after the show.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, I'm next, right? We're at the next question.
You are.
Yeah, I'm like,
number 3.
Yeah. All right. Our next question is, and I look forward to hearing your answer, is we all have difficult days, but we still have to show up and get things done, right? So how do you rise up and get through your day when you're having one of those difficult ones?
Right. So I think like one of the key things that, again, keeps us stuck, keeps us ruminating is like our thoughts just have to stay in our head. And we don't have to deal with them. Or if we deal with them, that means something and we get into this shame loop. But I've really gotten to a good habit of like, I would say journaling, but it's more free writing, because journaling, I feel, is more like, this happened to me. This is how I feel. Free writing is like, I hate this person. And it's okay. Just free write whatever is in your heart. You just go for it. You may not even have paper that's intact left. Good. It's just all about getting all of that excess energy out and then using my favorite element, fire, and burning it burn safely. Because again, it just symbolizes the end. And, just to tie that up as well, if you can cleanse your energy, I use sage so much. If you ever feel like, for example, if you've had a argument with your partner and it's always in the bedroom, you need to sage the hell out of that bedroom, because the energy does stay in there, even for people who aren't so woo-woo, like scientifically, yes, the atoms do stay in that room. Nice. Let it burn.
Yes, they're close by at all times. We'll put it that way.
I love it. Like, it's such a game changer, isn't it? It's just, there's something special about, both Palo Santo and sage. It's wonderful. So yeah, definitely a lot of burning and a lot of smoke alarm activating, but
it was funny. I was at a women's retreat last week in Florida, and I brought sage and Palo Santo with me because I just knew there's 5 days where there's 15 of us in a house. It was a very, very big house, but it's still, that's a lot of energy going on, a lot of it, you know, and there's all this up and down. And yeah, we burned the sage and Palo Santo numerous times. So yeah.
Nice. That's so good of you to bring that though, because I think like, you know, people think, okay, sisterhood, and they forget that actually there's so much behind all of that. We all bring our own energy and our own intention and stuff. Yeah. So
I love that. Yes, that's the best. She's like, like we could just hang out with you all day long, Rachel.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Crystals, sage, brushing. Oh my God. All right. Our next question for you, and we realize that there are probably numerous throughout your life, but what is one life experience that's really played a big role in forming who you are today?
Okay. So there's a bigger theme, which I can go into more detail, but I remember specifically this event. So I used to live in Spain quite a while ago, and I was on the phone with my mom, and we had been through so much in our relationship, and it seemed like we had gotten to a really good position. But then, you know, we were on the phone, and, you know, to this day, I can't even remember what we were talking about, but it obviously wasn't that major, but my reaction was just not in proportion to what was going on. And I remember just becoming so rageful, like I slammed the phone down, like threw my phone in my friend's car, and I was just radiating all of this anger. And it was just literally at that moment, and it's all ironic, like the analogy really matches like where I was. And I was like, wow, I'm really not in the driving seat right now. Like I physically wasn't, I was in the passenger seat, but I really wasn't in the driver's seat of my life to, you know, have someone on the end of the phone, regardless if it was my mom or a boss or a friend, completely change my emotional state to such an extent where I couldn't really function. Like my whole day was a write-off as a result. And then, you know, going home that night, and I was thinking, wow, like, is this just a one-off? Is it just me and my mother? Or is this something that's radioactive and affecting the rest of my life as well? And then looking at that, I was like, wow, look at how I show up at work. Like there are a lot of self-sabotaging habits going on. Love life, like I was just as reactive in love life. So, you know, that was really a pinnacle moment in my life where I was like, I need to really look at this. And as painful as it was to, you know, discover actually you need to start healing around the mother wound, which is one of the really big things I focus on in my coaching work for other women. But really looking at that and, you know, dealing with the shame and the guilt and all that stuff that comes through looking at your relationship with your mother and saying, hey, it's not perfect. And there are some things that she was at fault for. How do we deal with this? And I know that's hard for a lot of women, because particularly for women who feel like they have this best friend relationship with their mother, to then say, oh, actually, as a result of the way I was brought up or the result of the dynamics of our relationship when I was a child or even as an adult, this is affecting me. So yeah, just really challenging that and facing that head on has been like monumental for my own personal growth and also for my business as well. So it's really helped redirect my business and help me pivot.
I love that, because I have a daughter who's 22, and I realize that she will have a moment or many moments where she will realize that, like I've got some stuff with my mom. Like, I just think it just happened. I don't, you know, and I look at my relationship with my mom. I've had to go through times of challenging, you know, that when I look back at history of time with my mom, things that have really affected me that I've had to go in and figure out and clear out on my end. And it's just like you said, it's not that my mom intentionally didn't do a good job. She did best with what she had. It's just working through those things. So I really love that you bring that up. I think that's fascinating. And yeah, I'm fully expecting my daughter to one day look at me and go, it's all your fault. And Julietta knows her well. So. If she doesn't already do that, she probably does.
That's the thing. Like, I remember speaking to someone, they were like, oh no, I don't have a mother wound at all. I was like, we all do. Yes. We all do. It's a spectrum. You know, you can have a very, very, very traumatic childhood, or you could, again, have a really good relationship, but you were still slighted in some way. Like, unless you were raised by a complete robot who was perfect, it's impossible. Like, we all have something to heal in that regard. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You definitely have me thinking, because in general, I had just a very beautiful, peaceful upbringing. And I know that that my upbringing is not the norm for most people. But you had me thinking a little bit of what there was in the relationship that might not be bringing my best life forward. And so maybe doing some more contemplating after the show.
Oh, I love that. I love that I've helped. But no, it's beautiful. And I think it's interesting when you dive in deeper. I think it's a beautiful journey. And I think the women that come to me talking about this wound, I really, go away from, oh, let's blame the mothers. No, like we're in the, healing the mother wound, we're celebrating the mother as well. So even like yourself, Julieta, where your relationship was so wonderful, you still get to celebrate your mother as well in that. So I think it's wonderful.
All right. Well, to wrap things up, we're down to our last few minutes. We would love to hear from you, Rachel. If there's one thing that you would like our audience to take away from our time with you today, what would that be?
Okay. I would say that they all remember that they are the architect of their life as long as they appoint themselves. So it's kind of like, there's a company, they're looking for candidates and they know they got the best candidate, but if they don't hire them, then how's it going to work? How do they start making the change? So you've got to really appoint yourself as the leader, as the architect in your life for things to really start to shift and change and experience exponential growth.
I love that. We talk about that a lot about, we have choices, right? Like, and that to me is kind of in line with that. You've got to choose to do that. So,
and you choose to play the victim or you choose to play the architect. And
nice.
I know that there's a lot of things in life that it's really hard to say, I created in that my life. We all have shitty things, and when you can finally step away and accept that you were the one that created that, there's so much power in it.
Yes.
And I had that perfect example happen this last week. I kind of told Julieta briefly, I totally got called out on something. Like I said, I was at a women's retreat. It was with my staff and all of our students. And one of my coworkers, who she's amazing, she's one of our coaches, she totally called me out on something that I had never realized. Like I knew that I was doing it, but I didn't put the words to what exactly it was that I was doing. And she called me out on it. And I had that moment where it was like a gut punch, where I was like, holy crap, I got to take responsibility. Like I am doing this. And I looked at her and I said, am I doing that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I am doing that. Like it was one of those moments. So it's not always easy. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is it's not always easy to accept that and to look at that, but that's how we grow. And that's how we, evolve and become better, not only for ourselves, but for those around us. And I had to go back to her later and go, okay, like I did not like you telling me that, but you're right. And I'm aware of it. And it's such a different, it gave me power. Like you just said, Julieta, I felt like, okay, I was able to take that, take that in. Okay, I'm doing that. And then be able to look at it and go, okay, how do I work with this moving forward? So it's not always easy to admit it's never easy to admit when you're doing something that you don't want to be doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Oh, no, thank you both. Like such an honor to be on this show. It's my first live YouTube show. Is it? Ooh. Well, it's my first live YouTube show on StreamYard. So there you go. There.
That's
awesome. It has been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here with us. And I am sure our audience got many good gold nuggets from our discussion here today. And also want to shout out thank you to Bowtie Kids for sponsoring us this month. And if you can get there, I would love to see you all at the Courage and Confidence Awards. And thank you to our audience, because without you, we would not be here. So thank you for listening, tuning in. If you've liked what you've heard, please like, comment, share, subscribe, reviews, testimonials. We'd love some of them too. So help us out. We would love that. And if I know it's always impossible to figure out, where do I point? Rachel's website is up on the screen if you want to check it out, but also go to the show notes if you need to get in touch with Rachel, Allison, or myself. All of our contact information, social media, websites, etc., etc. All of that information is available in there, and we'd love to hear from you. And with that, I want to wish everybody a magical day.
Thanks, guys.